This video is incredibly messed up, and fair warning, this might be hard to watch. You're looking at footage from an environmental protest on Tuesday. The man with gray hair walking forward is Kenneth Darlington, a 77-year-old American lawyer. He holds dual citizenship in the US and Panama, where this protest is taking place. He appears to be out of his car because the environmental protesters are blocking a highway. Kenneth interacts with the protesters and then quickly pulls out a handgun. This is where things take a dark turn. Again, this is disturbing. As Kenneth stands there arguing, gun in hand, he eventually uses the weapon and opens fire on a man standing just feet away from him. That man falls, and a moment later, Kenneth opens fire again on someone else. The protesters scream out and attempt to aid the two men who were shot, as video shows Kenneth trying to remove debris blocking the highway. One of the protesters shot by Kenneth died on the scene, while the other died at the hospital. For weeks, protesters have been demonstrating against a giant Canadian mining company that's trying to restart a giant open-pit copper mine. The mine is surrounded by rainforest, yet the mining company's contract allows them to run the thing for the next 20 years, with an option to extend for another 20. Despite worries from locals that the mine could contaminate drinking water and devastate natural resources, the mining company nevertheless is paying Panama $375 million a year for this privilege. Recent reports suggest that the country may actually end up annulling the contract, but international law may make that difficult. Kenneth was soon arrested and taken into custody, and he's due back in court later this month.
I wonder where these young idiots thought they was about to do. You know, they seen some shit on TV and thought that they can get away with it and do the same thing, which evidently didn't work out because y'all got caught, right? You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's crazy. Rest in peace to this guy. Lost his life for who knows what. I mean, I don't understand why, things didn't work out in a relationship. People feel the need to take those type of high-power decisions and want to do crazy shit like this, man. So, oh boy, this world we live in.
This story out of Texas is up. This is 17-year-old Serenity Delgado and her boyfriend, 18-year-old Cruz Martinez. One night last week, they and another friend planned to meet up with this boy, 19-year-old Nathaniel Navarro, reportedly to buy weed from him. Only, that wasn't all they had in mind. Surveillance video shows the three teens entering a park and Nathaniel following in a car soon after. That's where the trio allegedly planned to kill Nathaniel, bury him in the park, and steal his weed, money, and car. But it did not go smoothly. Martinez shot Nathaniel while he was still in his car, and Nathaniel tried to speed off, but slammed into a tree. A witness apparently saw the whole thing, including Serenity and her boyfriend then dragged Nathaniel's dead body out of the car and across the park into some bushes. The third suspect left the scene and was later seen with blood on her face and clothes, trying to hitch a ride and get away. The other two tried to move Nathaniel's car but ultimately left on foot. When Nathaniel didn't return home, his mother, worried, tracked him using his cell phone and found her son dead, partially buried in the park. The other two reportedly then went to Serenity's house where they told her mother what they did. Turns out they used her gun. She turned them into the police. All three teens ultimately confessed and are now facing capital murder charges along with tampering with evidence since they moved Nathaniel's body after the murder. The boyfriend was out on bond for other crimes, having just been charged 2 weeks ago. They're now being held without bond.
Man, that's super crazy. He went and lost his life dealing with people because, I don't know. They was just out here for greed, trying to rob somebody, trying to sell them some weed. And he lost his life all over some weed. He lost his life over some weed. Marijuana. And it's all stupid, you know what I'm saying? Y'all wanted to take his car, which y'all wasn't going to be in it that long. And then you wanted to take his weed, get him for his weed. Like y'all dummies that took a life and all these lives been taken out over some weed in a car. Like why?
This story out of California is tragic. This is beloved 50-year-old middle school Spanish teacher Sergio Martin. His family says he was full of life, a passionate teacher at his school for almost 20 years whose students loved him. But now, his family's been invited to come to the school and collect his belongings. That's because around 3 a.m. one night, he was shot multiple times in his home, which had been burglarized, and found dead by police. 17-year-old has been arrested, but they don't believe he acted alone. Police are still searching for at least one more suspect. They don't believe there was any connection between the teen and the teacher and believe it may be gang-related. The Department of Justice says youth in gangs are responsible for a disproportionate amount of criminal activity, and in 2015, a study estimated that over 1 million U.S. teens are in gangs. They're often looking for belonging, protection, and money, all things young people don't have when they're trapped in a cycle of poverty. Today, in the richest country in the world, 140 million people either live in poverty or are one disaster away from financial ruin. Experts say we can expect more horrible crimes like this until our country actually takes steps to ensure that everybody has their basic human needs met.